Very, very good morning and welcome to Singapore Choice. Singapore Choice-ൽ ഇന്ന് നമ്മുടെ കൂടെയുള്ളത് ഒരു സ്പെഷ്യൽ വ്യക്തിയാണ്. ഇദ്ദേഹത്തിന് നമ്മൾ പരിചയപ്പെടേണ്ടത് ഒരു അത്യാവശ്യമാണ്. ഞാൻ പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല. മോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് യു എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരുമാതിരി ചെറിയ കുട്ടികൾ മുതൽ വലിയവർ വരെ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഇദ്ദേഹത്തിന് അറിയുന്നതാണ്, കണ്ടിട്ടുള്ളതാണ്, ഇദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ അച്ചീവ്മെൻറ്റ്സ് അറിയാവുന്നതാണ്. ഇദ്ദേഹം സിംഗപ്പൂർ അംബാസിഡറായി ഒരുപാട് രാജ്യങ്ങളിൽ സേവനം അനുഷ്ഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് ആൻഡ് സെയിം ടൈം ഇന്ത്യൻ ഡിപ്ലോമാറ്റാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഈ പ്രാവശ്യത്തെ പ്രവാസി ഭാരതി സമ്മാൻ അവാർഡ് സിംഗപ്പൂർ അസോസിയേഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്, സിംഗപ്പൂർ ഇന്ത്യൻ അസോസിയേഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഇദ്ദേഹമാണ് പ്രസിഡന്റിൽ നിന്നും ഏറ്റുവാങ്ങിയത്. പ്രൊഫസർ കെ കേശവ് ഭാനി, ദ പ്രസിഡന്റ് ഓഫ് സിംഗപ്പൂർ ഇന്ത്യൻ അസോസിയേഷൻ. Very, very good morning and welcome to the show, sir. First of all, let me congratulate you for receiving the Pravasi Bharati Award from the President of India. Sir, my first question to you is, off screen I was talking to you, you said yearly maybe 30 people come, like all associations and peoples together, it's 30 people who is receiving this award. So what made you receive this award? How was your journey to receive this award?
Well, the award is it's not a personal award to me. Mm-hmm. It is in recognition of the role played by the Singapore Indian Association over the last 9 decades.
Okay.
We are now 90 over years old.
Okay.
And we have always been an interface of a meeting point, so to speak, between Indians coming from India and locally settled Indians. We try to make settlement enjoyable and as productive as possible. So it was in recognition of this very significant role that the Indian Association has played over the years that the award was awarded by the President of India, and I was honored to have been the recipient to travel to Bangalore and receive it from his hands.
The President of India. Yeah. Okay. Sir, I would like to share people more about your profession. What is your roots and how you came up with?
Well, my father came from Vellore in South India. And he worked in a rubber plantation. And as a clerk. And from there we grew up, a family of 10. And well, I had my early education in Malaysia. And then in 1967, I came over to Singapore.
So how did your journey go from 1967 to now 2017?
Well, I was offered a job by the Singapore government. And I joined the Singapore Civil Service that year. And worked in the Ministry of Labour for 5 years. After that, I've always wanted to be a diplomat. So I then went over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And joined the Singapore Diplomatic Service. I've seen action in several postings. Starting with Jakarta. Then with Moscow. London, New York, Geneva, and finally Malaysia. Oh, you came to Malaysia again. And you are... It was quite ironical that I left Malaysia and came back.
You started from Malaysia and came back to Malaysia. That's quite... And tell me more about the Indian Association and their activities over here.
Well, this was an association primarily set up to get Indians to meet and mix and share their views and all that. It was led by some very, very famous personalities in the Indian community. And gradually, the main focus was on sports. We are very good in cricket. We play a bit of football. Hockey used to be a major sport, but it no longer is. Other than sports, it's a place where we provide for Indians, particularly in the lower middle class, so to speak, who normally can't afford to go to hotels and all. We allow them our facilities, which is much cheaper for weddings, for birthdays, for this, that, and all. 5 years ago, we have always been doing social service, and one of the things we used to do was to help in the sending back to India people who came here and were left stranded. So we set up a fund called the Welfare Fund.
Okay.
And that fund is now steady. But now there's no longer a case of extraditing people, rehabilitating people. So we shifted the focus. Now we do a lot of social work.
Okay.
And we run a program called Helping People from Falling Through the Cracks.
What was the most gratifying moment of you as a diplomat?
Well, among other things, I was the founding chairman
Okay.
of the World Trade Organization
Oh, okay.
in Geneva. This was a success I had to get.
Okay.
So to be in a position to help in the founding of a major international organization is a privilege. And you know, the whole debate now between fair trade, free trade, no trade. So the WTO continues to play a very important role. And I personally think I was in a position to have played a part in starting that organization. And there are many other things, especially in Malaysia, where you know relations between neighbors cannot always be smooth.
Very true.
Yeah, so you have to be in a position where you can manage
Both.
and don't let things get worse.
Okay.
If you can't let it get better.
Okay, so now let me come to your personal side. You have a good connection with India, but I've heard you have a nice connection with Kerala too. So what is that?
My wife is from Kerala,
Nice.
and Kollam in particular.
Okay.
So her father came over to Malaya. In fact, came over very close to where we were staying, and so that's the first connection.
Okay.
My second connection is that I have a lot of friends there. Mr. Anand Sivaram is an old friend of mine from over 40 years.
Okay.
I'm a friend of Mr. Sashi Tharoor, the
Oh,
MP.
okay.
So why is it every time Sashi's name, every girl lights up? Huh? Well, my wife reads every one of his books, so
Okay.
so yeah, mutual admiration.
Yeah.
So I have lots of friends. I've also been to Sabarimala 3 times, so that's another connection. And the latest connection is this book by Amita Pillai.
Yeah.
And well, she wrote the book. I only helped to launch it.
Okay. Oh, she featured about you and your wife.
Yeah, she's featured in the book. But it's a wonderful book because I think every Kerala should have a copy of this. Now I'm advertising this book.
And a special thanks to her, like Anita Devi Pillai. It's from Kerala to Singapore.
Anita was particularly happy because we had it launched at the Parliament House, the old Parliament House.
Okay.
ഹൗസ് ബ്രാൻഡ് കഴിഞ്ഞ 60 വർഷമായി സിംഗപ്പൂരിന്റെ തനത് രുചിക്കൂട്ടുകൾക്കും സ്വാദിനും ഒപ്പമാണ്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഓരോ ഉൽപ്പന്നങ്ങളുടെയും വാസനയും ഗുണമേന്മയും നഷ്ടപ്പെടാതിരിക്കാൻ ക്രയോജനിക് സാങ്കേതികവിദ്യ ഉപയോഗിച്ച് ഞങ്ങളുടെ തന്നെ ഫാക്ടറിയിൽ തയ്യാറാക്കി പാക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഹൗസ് ബ്രാൻഡ്, തനത് സ്വാദിന്റെ സംതൃപ്തി.
Get gorgeous with Vanissa's endless beauty techniques. Our caring beauticians will groom to love yourself. Facial for flawless and glowing skin, threading for shapely eyebrows, a perfect iconic hairstyle, waxing, just walk in for a head-to-toe captivating makeover. Vanessa Beauty Salon, City Square Mall, 16 and 22, Buffalo Road. All India Supermart. Enjoy the sprawling one-stop shopping experience in 4 floors. The premier All India Supermart offers wide range and great varieties of consumer products. Groceries to fresh vegetables, chocolates, lifestyle products, fashion wear, pharmacy and beauty. All India Supermart's futuristic self-service kiosk is a highlight for groceries. All India Supermart, 41 Norris Road, Singapore.
തിരുമല നെയ് ശർക്കര പായസത്തിന് സ്ട്രോങ് സപ്പോർട്ട്, നെയ്ദോശയ്ക്ക് സൂപ്പർ സപ്പോർട്ട്, ഗുലാബ് ജാമിന് ക്ലോസ് ഫ്രണ്ട്, വീട്ടിലും വിരുന്നിലും ഏറ്റവും അടുത്ത സുഹൃത്ത് തിരുമല നെയ്.
തിരുമല നെയ്. Our priceless possession, Ayurveda. At Ananta Ayurveda, relax and detoxify, unwind and rejuvenate your mind and body from an array of treatments and massage therapies. Get expert advice for specific ailments, spinal and muscular conditions. Ananta Ayurvedic Healthcare, Buffalo Road and Yishun Street, 71, Singapore. Call 63964494. Ananta Ayurveda. Reliving a treasured past.
People will be keen to know that you are a diplomat. You're very good with signs or writings and all this politics, everything. But then we would like to know what is your extracurricular things, like other than all this. What is your other entertainments?
Golf, playing golf.
Oh, you used to play golf?
That's
Okay, you're a sportsman.
That's my second passion
Okay.
after my wife.
Okay. Okay, first passion is always your wife. Okay.
I've always played golf, and my other passions are social work and also the arts.
Arts.
Helping people who,
Okay.
it's very difficult. The artist can only create, but you need support for them.
Very true. Do you think nowadays they are not getting, I mean, people are not keen to be an artist because, they're not being recognized and it's not a daily, it won't serve their daily bread.
No, but unfortunately in Singapore it's not the case.
Okay.
We have two important bodies called the National Heritage Board
Okay.
and the National Arts Council.
Okay.
These two bodies consciously promote the arts,
Okay.
promote heritage.
Okay.
They provide funding.
Okay.
They provide space.
Okay.
So there's a lot of awareness in Singapore on the usefulness of arts to make any place as humane as possible. Because a
very
city
nice.
like Singapore, which is commercial, and if you just only concentrate on the commercial side,
Okay.
you lose the other aspects.
True.
So that's why you find that in Singapore we have various arts features. We have the Indian Heritage Center, which is. Have you been to the Indian Heritage? Oh, you must go.
Okay.
That's encapsulates the whole history of Indians in Singapore. I was involved in the setting up of that. So you can say I'm a jack of all trades, but
Very
master
true.
of none.
And I can't underline this master of none. Jack of all trades, that's to be careful. Oh. You was telling me you would love to go to India in every, whatever opportunity you used to get. What should India do? It's a simple question. And I don't think it's a relevant question, but then let me ask you. Singapore is a place with high infrastructure, good living conditions and everything. It's a clean city, a lot of things. But then what should India do to become a city like that, at least a 50%?
Singapore is a city-state.
Okay.
City-state, language, English, all the other 4 languages, culture. The British left us something we worked on. But you're talking of, if you want to compare it with Bombay.
Yeah.
In terms of GDP, in terms of this, that, minus the population, that's an unfair competition. The thing is, India has so many issues to deal with. I don't know why anybody wants to be Prime Minister of India.
Okay.
So we have a great deal of sympathy for the way India has remained intact. It has not broken up.
Never.
So you can see neighboring countries, they're breaking up. But there is something called the soul of India, which attracts the people, to stay together, to resolve their differences and all. So this is something I admire about India. Infrastructure will come. It's a question of time. Because we are talking of, 10 years ago, you talked about, in fact, 1990, until 1990, India's policy was to look inwards in terms of economic production, or mainly to the West.
Okay.
So it was only around 1990 that then Prime Minister Narasimha Rao and had this look east policy.
Okay.
And so one of the places they looked at was Singapore. And we were able to share how we came up.
Okay.
We don't ever think we can go and teach anybody. We just say we share. And we shared quite a few things in terms of human capital development, infrastructure development. In fact, right now, the new capital city of Andhra Pradesh, Amaravati, is with input from Singapore. The Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, concentrating on growth, and slowly it's coming up.
Okay.
But there are,
Will take time. So, what do you think the future of India will be?
about 10 years ago, I published a small pamphlet called India's Tryst with Destiny.
Okay.
There I wrote that notwithstanding the problems, I think India is destined to have its place in the sun.
Okay.
This is partly because of the shift in geopolitics. The shift from the Atlantic Ocean eastwards to the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean.
Okay.
So that's how we see today the three important countries who will be involved in shaping the future is China, India, Japan, and if possible, ASEAN. So I think India is in a good trajectory, provided there is political continuity.
Okay.
It's very important to have political continuity so you can think long term.
I
Singapore,
could see
we
that,
were
yeah.
blessed because our founding fathers, Lee Kuan Yew and his cabinet, were there for nearly 20 years.
Oh,
20
okay.
years. And,
Ours is hardly 5 years.
and so they were able to plan. You know, if you want to build a good MRT system, you can't do it
It's
in
a
5
long
years.
plan. Yeah,
If you
yeah.
want to, for example, water. Water is the most important thing. In Singapore, we have no rivers.
Okay.
We depend on rainwater. We have some water from the neighbors.
Okay.
So how do we overcome this problem of water? You have to invest in technology. You have to get new water. You've got to get, water from the sea. And these are all things. Cleaning the rivers.
Okay.
You go to any Singapore river, you can swim in it.
Oh,
You
okay.
can swim in it. Why? Because 20 years ago, in fact, not very soon after our independence, Lee Kuan Yew made cleaning the rivers and making sure the waters from the rivers can be recycled.
Okay.
And all kinds of legislation had to be put in, relocating people and all. So continuity is the most important thing for a country's development.
You were in a lot of positions, right? You were chairman to many things. You were the Singapore ambassador to many countries and all. So, what was the challenge you have faced in all your, throughout your, journey?
Meet, mingle, and understand people.
Okay.
That is the most, that's number one. Because every individual is different.
Different.
So you can't be put and say, I'm right all the time. So that is the challenge, how to understand the other person's point of view.
Okay.
And if many points of view, then you have to come. So that's a major challenge. Second challenge is national interest. Each country has its own national interest. So even though I'm dealing with a person, my ambassador colleague, but behind him there is a country.
Yeah.
And the country will tell him what to do.
Coming back to your family, I'm coming to your family, about your family, kids and all.
We have two boys. The elder one is a lawyer, Murali. The younger one is Sashi. He's a researcher,
Okay.
academic.
So, no one into civil service? Again?
No. I told them not to.
Okay. It'll give you sleepless
Yeah.
night and lose your hair.
And my eldest daughter-in-law is a teacher.
Okay.
She has a doctorate in teaching. Jyoti, her name is Jyoti Murali. She teaches at the international school,
Okay.
family school.
Okay.
My younger daughter-in-law is Geeta. She is with Platts. Platts is an oil analyst company.
Okay.
And we have two grandchildren.
Okay. You were into teaching in between, right? You know,
I was in
about to ask you.
teaching. I told you I was 1955. I went to do a teacher training course in Liverpool. Came back, so I was teaching for 5 years in Malaysia. After that, I went to the university, and then went back to teaching for a while. So at that point in time, my change in career, the Singapore government offered me at this place, and so I left my
Teaching profession.
life ambition to become a lawyer.
Okay.
My ambition was to become
Become
a
a
lawyer,
lawyer.
yeah, but I moved on to civil service and
Get gorgeous with Vanissa's endless beauty techniques. Our caring beauticians will groom to love yourself. Facial for flawless and glowing skin, threading for shapely eyebrows, a perfect iconic hairstyle, waxing, just walk in for a head-to-toe captivating makeover. Vanessa Beauty Salon, City Square Mall, 16 and 22, Buffalo Road.
ഹൗസ് ബ്രാൻഡ് കഴിഞ്ഞ 60 വർഷമായി സിംഗപ്പൂരിന്റെ തനത് രുചിക്കൂട്ടുകൾക്കും സ്വാദിനും ഒപ്പമാണ്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഓരോ ഉൽപ്പന്നങ്ങളുടെയും വാസനയും ഗുണമേന്മയും നഷ്ടപ്പെടാതിരിക്കാൻ ക്രയോജനിക് സാങ്കേതികവിദ്യ ഉപയോഗിച്ച് ഞങ്ങളുടെ തന്നെ ഫാക്ടറിയിൽ തയ്യാറാക്കി പാക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഹൗസ് ബ്രാൻഡ്, തനത് സ്വാദിന്റെ സംതൃപ്തി.
QBB Pure Ghee for cooking, baking and barbecue. Superior taste in so many ways. QBB Pure Ghee.
Vincy's Beauty. Pamper yourself in true luxury. Most comforting, home-like environment. Relax in the scented ambience with our signature custom-made facials from carefully hand-picked organic products. Look your best effortlessly with Vincy's painless 5-minute threading. Get treated by our highly qualified staff who will attend you with care and diligence. Vincy's Beauty. Feel beautiful more than you already are. Number 3 Norris Road, Little India, Singapore.
So you used to give, still you used to give classes on seminars or social service?
teaching has always been in my blood. It's always in my blood. Even now, I'm adjunct professor at the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, National University of Singapore. And I give lectures, I give talks as and when they require. So it keeps me in this thing.
Okay.
In fact, so on the 30th, I'm giving a lecture at the National University of Singapore in South Asian departments. There are about 200 students, so they want to learn. So you must keep yourself mentally active. That's very important. And secondly, you must mingle with the young. You must mingle with the young to understand where they come from. I'll tell you a funny story. I was at the Singapore Management University. I taught there a course for 1 year. And I got a shock of my life when I went into that class. The students were wearing, hot pants,
Okay.
ladies, and to classes, iPads, and they brought food to eat.
Okay.
So at first I was, because I'm from the old school, where it's all discipline, everything. Here you can't. So at first, of course, my reaction was to be a bit annoyed. But then I realized that, you're dealing with a younger generation and you have to adapt to them.
Yeah.
Teaching is also different. They have their Wikipedia.
True.
So as you lecture, they'll go through and see whether
We're
you're
very used to check. We'll Google for everything.
Yeah. So it's a different generation, you see.
Okay.
So it's a generation change. But if you can adapt, if you can adapt,
Yeah,
then
you're
things
fine.
are okay.
Perfect.
Things are okay. In fact, once
A teacher should be a student.
our late president, Mr. Nathan,
Okay.
I told him to come and give a talk. So he came. He was horrified. He's from the old school. So he said, after that, he said, Pani, they are eating while I'm talking. Because you see, you have to understand them. They have to go rush off to the next class. So they won't have time to go and eat.
Okay.
So they eat while they are studying. And
What sacrifices should a wife make? She do when her husband is so busy, man. He's being the ambassador and active with a lot of activities.
well, the wife makes a tremendous sacrifice,
Okay.
much more than what we imagine.
Okay.
Because The men have things occupied, meetings,
Yeah.
and after meetings you have dinners,
Okay.
all in the name of work. For diplomats, it's a lovely place because of, you're fully occupied. Then you have got your golf, you've got.
Okay. Europe is always fond of all kind of.
So I wish the foreign ministries in the whole world could pay more attention to the sacrifices of the wives. Not enough is paid. If any medals should be given to
given
them.
to her. Yeah. So what is your future plans?
Right now I am in about 9 organizations.
Oh, okay.
Indo-Norman Board, SINDA, Indian Association, Singapore International Foundation.
Okay.
We just started one on Abdul Kalam Vision. I think after Gandhi, he's the most visionary of. But the trouble is, if you don't keep his memory alive, his teachings alive. Now look at Gandhi. They remember him once a year.
Yeah,
on
on
his
Gandhi
birthday,
Jayanti, maybe on Republic Day and Independence Day.
So we have just started a Kalam Vision Society.
Okay.
We had a very good lecturer from Bangalore who came and gave a most inspiring talk. My next plans are to sort of wind down.
Okay.
Wind down. Because at 80, you have to consciously wind down.
Okay.
For 2 reasons. One, your energy level goes down. You can't assume or presume that you are as active. Secondly, you must give opportunities for the younger people to come up.
Okay.
Younger people, you must develop them, get them into positions so that from a distance you see. So these are the 2 reasons I consciously wind down.
Okay.
But as I'm winding down, new things come. So I was quite surprised when I was asked to take over the presidency of the Interreligious Organization.
Interreligious organization.
IRO, Interreligious Organization.
Okay.
Now this was an organization formed in 1949 by an Englishman. At that time, nobody saw the need for it. But today you see the need for it.
You badly needs it.
Everywhere you have religious strife, sectarian strife. The same religion, they are killing each other. So we think there is a lack of. We are in an age of tolerance.
Okay.
Religious tolerance, where I tolerate your belief, you tolerate my belief, and hopefully we can live. But I think the stage has come where we have to go higher and say religious understanding.
So what did you feel when you got this award? Like when it was declared, you have this Pravasi Bharati Saman Award for Singapore Indian Association. What was your feeling then?
Well, firstly, we were honored that we'd be following in the footsteps of our late President Nathan.
Okay.
He received the award in 2012.
Okay.
So after that, we were the next organization or individual to receive this award. So it was gratifying in that sense. Secondly, it was personal satisfaction that if you give to society, society gives back to you.
Okay.
So we have done some things that we think that we have done, and society now finds it. And in this case, it's the Indian government, particularly the High Commission of India in Singapore, who have contacts with everybody. But you have got to ask them why they chose Singapore Indian Association.
Okay.
I can't answer that.
It's like a long chat we had, and you were telling us your visions, country's visions, and you were giving a nice message to the kids. So we should thank you very much for being with us and for your precious time to be with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My privilege.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thanks a lot.